welcome to the how to wrap your RSX steering wheel video. I'm going to try to make it as detailed as possible for you guys, and this has been a video that I've been meaning to do for the channel for like half a year and I never got to it. So it's actually a really easy and I think beneficial mod for my RSX guys, because it's a very common issue when you get steering wheels like this with use and time, right? So if yours looks like this and you don't want to get a new one, you could always just get yourself this wrap. So I got it off Amazon. I'll go ahead and link it in the video description for you guys to get. It's like 50-60 bucks. And here's what comes inside. Of course, the wrap, I ended up going with suede with red stitching, and of course I'm a huge advocate for the red stripe in the middle, which goes on the top of your steering wheel, which I think looks sick. And you also get this little bag, which has two of these little strings with the needles in the back. We have some double-sided tape that we're going to be using, and this is a little piece of plastic that helps you push the wrap inside the steering wheel. So pretty simple. I guess I'll kind of just start showing you guys how to do this. You're supposed to start off by basically cleaning up your steering wheel. So there's probably a lot of dirt and grime within the steering wheel, so you want to make sure that you disinfect it and have it all clean before you start applying the double-sided tape. Let me go ahead and make sure it's focused on the steering wheel, not my face. Okay. All right, so here we have the wrap, right? So top is going to be where this line is. If you go to the side, you see this and you see this. This is for the back, this is for the front. So technically, it kind of just gets put on like this. Take your time. It stretches, so you should be able to kind of lay it over quite easily. And if you have an Evo, watch the Evo video that I did on the steering wheel wrap for this as well. I did it like 3 years ago, and that's kind of how I found out about it. And when I saw the steering wheel on the RSX when I got it, I was like, that's actually a really good mod. So yeah, like I said, I've had this wrap for a really long time, and kind of wish I did it sooner, because it is my daily driver, and I think it just looks pretty sick, dude. Like, let me show you guys just for reference on what it looks like installed. Suede with the red stitching. As far as the durability, the one on the Evo lasts pretty well. I'm not sure about the suede, but anything's better than what was on there. So take it back off, because we are going to start off by installing this. I didn't go ham with the double-sided tape. They do give you a lot. If you want to do that, that's on you, but I just did the front. It's just mainly to hold it in place, because you do have to be aware that once the wrap is on, you're gonna have to peel it and then start peeling all this stuff individually. So the more you have, the more work it's gonna be. Obviously, the more tape, the tighter it's gonna be, but the less play you're gonna have to move it around. So this is kind of how I did it. I just put one on the side here, and one here, and one here, and the rest are all in the front. So here is basically what it looks like with the tape on. Just be conscious that you have to tuck it in from the front and the back, so make sure that it's evenly spaced so that you are able to stuff these portions of the spokes inside. So, and try to make them as, you know, straight as possible, of course, and it should look something like this. So up next, we're gonna go ahead and use this little guy right here and start basically pushing the excess material inside the steering wheel. Do this to the best of your ability, because you don't want this thing popping out while you're driving and you're having to redo stuff. So do things right, just go ahead and stuff it, and make sure everything is nice and tight. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you how to thread a needle. We have our string, and we have our needles that are supplied with the box. There's an opening on one of the needles. As far as the string, you're gonna cut it based off 3 to 4 times the length of each of the spokes. So spoke, spoke, spoke. I'm gonna start with this one. I already went ahead and measured out around 4 times the distance from here to here, so I kept doing this. And we have this. So now you can go ahead and grab the string, feed it through the needle. Needle, string, both ends are touching towards the end. You're gonna go ahead and tie a knot with your fingers. So a little bit of excess, tie it around, and go ahead and do this. I'm gonna go ahead and do 2 just in case. You're gonna go towards the back of the wrap, and as you guys can see, I punctured the first thread there with the needle, so it should look something like this. All you're gonna do is you're gonna go ahead and pull the string through. Once you pierce it through, you go ahead and feed it towards the front, and you're gonna go ahead and feed the string and go into that first little thread right in there. As you guys can see there, I kind of started the threads on the edge. It's a little bit confusing, but once you kind of start threading them each individually, you'll get what I mean. So all you're gonna do is grab the thread and basically thread it from the top towards the bottom, and then just kind of tie it in circles. So you'll get what I mean once you start doing it, just top to bottom, and it should close out. So here we have the spoke. Still have the needle attached, but this is somewhat what it should look like. Don't expect it to be like too perfect. I tried my best. This took me around 30 minutes, but the grip is a lot better. So obviously once you start getting to the corners, you're gonna start having the issue where it starts pulling on it a little bit. Don't worry about it. Once you have everything nice and sewed, you're gonna go ahead and go back in there and stuff it back in, and just it'll work out, trust me. So one spoke done, you're gonna go ahead, once you're done, we're gonna cut it, tie another knot, and then with a lighter we're gonna burn off the excess, so it just kind of closes the thread there and it doesn't come loose again. So be very careful, because if you don't do it right, you start having loose ends and all this starts coming apart and it just doesn't look right. So second spoke is done. This is what it looks like when you miss a spoke. I don't know if you guys can see this little guy right there. Just a slight gap. Everything else is pretty smooth, but yeah, so make sure you try to get through every spoke possible. I'm gonna go ahead and take care of the top one, and we should be good to go. So I'll put you guys back on time lapse, and pretty excited. Bummed me out a little bit. As you guys can see, this is what happens when you don't have enough string to go all the way to the end. So it looks really sloppy on this side. Redo this right. I didn't want it looking like that, honestly. Have it much better this time around. It's actually not much of an eyesore anymore. So obviously your outcome's gonna depend on your skill level when it comes to sewing. This is pretty much my second time that I've ever done something like this, and it was very tedious. It took me a couple hours, not gonna lie, and just want to take your time, put some music, and just kind of, you know, enjoy the process and enjoy the result once it's done. So again, I'm gonna go ahead and link this one and the Evo one specifically in the video description. I'm sure you could do it for other cars as well, but this is just a great alternative to basically bring your steering wheel back to life. So obviously it's not perfect, but yeah, I mean, there's some areas that I could have improved in, but you know, you live and you learn. So any other questions, you guys let me know in the comment section. Otherwise, I'll let you guys go here. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and stay tuned for more accurate content.